Can you guys see me? Let's see. There we go. Let me pop out of here. You guys should be able to see pretty clearly. Let me know you guys can see me pretty clear. All right. And then should be a much higher quality stream this time. I wasn't aware that there was issues in the previous. Hey Zach, how's it going? Thank you, Zach. And let's check something real fast. Let me try turning off that. Nope, that didn't work. Why does that not work? Let's see. There we go, kind of. And there's this. Nope. Sweet. Can y'all see the code on there? Nice and clear, nice and sharp. I'm doing pretty good. Glad to hear that you are doing good, Zach. Just kind of setting everything up right now. Right, that shouldn't be too loud. Let me know if it is. That's just some background noise while we kind of wait for everything. Cool. So we got about 20 minutes till we start actually doing everything. Go ahead and send this out. Sweet. All right. Well, there's a way that I can always keep this up. Probably not. So what do you got going on today, Zach? Hey, Danny, how are you doing? Welcome back, welcome back. I realize that I have my broken headset on. It's my favorite one. I should have switched, but oh well, it's too late now. Pupper's asleep. Keep it that way. Got the C# Bible prep today. What kind of stuff you making for your 3D models, Zach? What you doing, man? Hey, what's up, ORS? Doing all right today, ORS? I need to figure out what I need to know your learn to know your real name. Mixing all my words up, so I stop saying ORS because I keep seeing in my head John getting ecstatic about it possibly being a RuneScape name. It's wrong. RuneScape is wrong. You should feel wrong. I need to get like my camera in between the screens, the two monitors that I have, like right there. Dude. I know it's only been a couple of days, but what's everybody got going on? Anything interesting happening? See, Zach says today he was working on candles and some coins, but overall working on a little desert pack. What are you making a desert for? What kind of game you working on? Oh yeah, I'm extremely tired myself. Man, I was tempted to... We're trying to keep on schedule, so I'm here for the schedule, so I don't know how long it'll be. We'll see how well things go today. We'll be starting completely from scratch on some stuff, and I'm gonna have to completely brush up as we go. So it's gonna be interesting. Oh yeah, Danny? Making your 3D models yourself, eh? Oh, okay, you're just practicing stuff. That makes sense, Zach. Always good. Get in that practice. Al would be very happy to hear that you're working on 3D now. Gabe Newell. Who is that? Nonsense. What is this? Let's find out. Oh, I can see it. Yeah. Minus, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Much more attractive version. Okay. Alright, sweet. I'm just start calling you Or then. I'll just call you 373. What's up, 373? How you doing? Been talking with them. Oh, with Al. Okay. Forgot there's like a 20-second time difference. No, I'm terrified of 3D modeling. I don't know if I'll ever mess with it outside of maybe like Pro Builder or something. It's terrifying. I'll keep that to the creative people. I can do 2D. I can make some 2D art. That's fine. I can only go so far, though. I'm pretty limited. I don't know if y'all ever saw any of the... if you saw the mouse tap stuff that I was doing. But all that mouse tap art was mine. Me own. Yeah, Danny looks like he's working on character models. I assume that it's for, What's up, Omega? Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna learn today. Yeah, we'll be getting started here in about 10 minutes, and we're gonna go over how this stream is intended to work, and then determine if it's right for the entire audience or not. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know if it's gonna work out or not. We're kind of, like I said, it's kind of totally experimental whether this is gonna work out the way we wanted to or not. A lot of it's gonna come down to me. I gotta really take a lot of time to go back through, because I haven't coded in so long, so it's gonna be interesting. Zach says he's been having fun with low poly. Don't like working on more realistic stuff because it takes too long, so I don't have that much patience. Yeah, I don't have that much patience either. That's why I stick to 2D. Do you already have plans for a next game, Danny? Do you already have something kind of worked out? Nice. Hey, Bond, welcome back. Doing all right. How about yourself? You know, I was gonna go get a rubber duck for some rubber duck debugging. But then I decided maybe I'll use my dog. I'll just talk to my dog. Type of game that we're making is up to you guys. We're gonna go over that here in a little bit. In about 10 minutes. Couple of plans. Shoot one at us, Danny. Give us a very brief paraphrase description of one of your upcoming ideas. But for what we're making, we're going to aim for the mobile platform, but we shall see. Could be PC. Probably Android, though. Just because I think it would be probably the neatest. Oh, absolutely, yes. We're building a battle royale. We're building a battle royale FPS MOBA, but it's single player, all AI. It's AI that'll be more intelligent than the randoms that you'll queue with in any other game. Yeah, we're going to put that entire Battle Royale, FPS, MOBA, single-player game on Android. Yes. Let's do that. For certain. Who knows? We could get to that point. If the stream goes the way that it goes, like, the way that we want it to, then, I mean, it's possible we could line that out and be like, all right, is this something that we can pull off? Let's try it. See, Danny says his next game is going to be an adventure game with some RPG ingredients. Guess his thing is RPG games. Yeah, I mean, that's something yeah, it seems to sum it up. Nothing wrong with that, though, having a niche that you like. RPG is definitely the way to go. It's definitely way more difficult. But, I mean, hey, if you're capable of it, you're clearly capable of it. Yeah, that's true. PUBG and Fortnite is on Android. But are they an FPS MOBA Battle Royale that's single player? I don't think so. RuneScape 4.0. I like to think that it's going to be more of a 3.2. And then we're just going to hand it to them to update their own version. It's going to have a very intricate fishing system. Okay, it's gonna be like an internal marketing system for fishing you'll have a butler that gathers your fishing for you to the side and takes it to the bank automatically. So you can do absolutely nothing with the rest of your life except for fishing on RuneScape 3.2. While still being a battle royale. Yeah, we can do that. We're almost at that time. I just don't want to start explaining everything that we're gonna do and then have to re-explain myself. Oh yeah, mobile battle royale RPG strategy FPS 2D 3D mesh of a game. It's perfect. See, in Scum you can customize your man parts. Can we make a man part simulator? No, they have that. It's called genital jousting. Look it up. You're welcome. Don't want to get too excited for my other ideas. I want to finish Crumbling World first. Yeah, that's right. You better finish it. Finish it. You got expected players. Ready for it. Wow, just the last few seconds? 373? Android numbers 373 only enjoys the last few seconds of your teaser. I enjoyed the whole teaser. How do you feel about that? Cyborg 373, if that is your real name. Let's make a live stream simulator. All we gotta do is take previous videos, put them into Unity and let them play, and put a play. What do you think about a shooter like Enter the Gungeon with the items drop system from Diablo? Random weapons with random attributes. That's my college project for 2019. I don't want to copy your college project. You just want to see it so you can copy it for your college project. Yeah, so the way we're actually going to decide what game, I'm going to show y'all my method for coming up with ideas for making games. We're going to go over that, and then y'all can decide if that's the method y'all want to use for us to make the decision, and then we'll use that method to come up with a way, or to come up with what game we're going to make, and then we'll storyboard it, make sure it makes sense, kind of make like a really paraphrased game dev document, but the goal is something super casual, just a really hyper casual game that doesn't require that much mechanics, and then we're really gonna polish it though, like commercial polish it if possible. I'll go as far as reaching out to Al and having things get like professionally skinned over and stuff, possibly. It's a maybe. Well, it kind of really is just gonna depend. Oh, just for my opinion for it. So let's see. Shooter, Enter the Gungeon, item drop system from Diablo. Random weapons with random attributes. I mean, it's a good idea for sure. Like, is it, wow, I have to say, is it one more time? Will it be, I assume it's going to be like a single player thing, or are you going to have like a little co-op stuff? I feel like the random stuff is really only good for online competition. Otherwise, RNG battling in single player is no fun. Like, if I was in Skyrim and I got random, like, a random range of attributes versus, like, stuff that's in my level area. A resume somewhere, recap. Well, I mean, you can always watch, you can re-watch the live stream, and as it goes, but there'll be like a light recap that'll just kind of talk about what we decided to go with, and then kind of that's about it. Yeah, so my method to find a game idea is the first thing that we're going to be doing here in about probably 5 minutes. It looks like 5 minutes till 6. But yeah, Igor, definitely go for that. The random stuff though is the only thing that you'll want to look at just because it's single player. Think of what your player is going to be doing and what's going to excite them. And when you implement those features, try to make even the simplest action entertaining, which is what we're going to go over a lot doing this stuff. Let's see. Alright, so I gotta move y'all over here to this monitor. Here we have a game where we had like a lobby of 20 people join a lobby and fill in a prompt. The person who has the most liked prompt wins and gets points. The points can be spent. Super casual. We'll talk about it, man. We'll talk about it, man. I mean, you can come back to it later, man. You can come back and you'll see the method on the live stream. You can just watch it later. Don't stress yourself, my dude. Yeah, the satisfaction, like, you can go and find a lot of that. Hopefully, there's game trailers in the stuff that we're going to look at, so I can kind of show you some ideas to give you, like, a kind of an example of what I mean by making a rewarding player experience type stuff. Yeah, there's definitely, like, the sudden feeling of strong as well, but also think about the way that the situation is displayed. Like, so the item physically drops on the floor, so you can physically see the item. So that's something important because it's physically there. B, when you pick it up, it usually makes a noise of some type that's it's a noise that resembles what type of item it is. And if it's a legendary, usually it's an even more different of a noise, like a specific legendary noise. So when it drops, you know that there's like a legendary item in the area, and that's like a rewarding system in your head that's like, oh, somewhere there's a legendary somewhere. You go and you pick it up and it makes a legendary noise, and you're like, ah, awesome, identify it. The identification noise, identifying stuff, sounds really good as well. So you really want to make that experience all the way up until equipping it fantastic. And then when you're destroying people with it, because now you're super overpowered, you want to do it all again because it felt great the entire journey. And that's really important. Alright, cool. It's 6 o'clock. So let's see if we can nail this out. 1 minute. Put my fidgety stuff down. Does that make great use of RNG while being single player? Alright, let me put this over here. I'm switching my monitors over. Cool. I was going to have that down in the background just a little bit. Alright, can everybody hear me fine? Everything's good. Let me see if I can turn this on in the first go without any kind of problems. I'm already having problems. I can't scroll on OBS. There we go. Subscribe here. Reference guide. Sweet. Alright, cool. So the couple of tabs we got pulled up. I got a random number generator pulled up for a reason. We got the top charts on Google Play pulled up. Let me turn off the music in total because it's actually distracting me, so I assume it's distracting you. And then we got the scripting API. So that's going to be when we start actually coding and we're looking back at stuff. We want to make sure that we use the scripting API when we get stuck. Of course, if anybody has any ideas. So let me just kind of leave this up. So the goal for this stream, it's essentially I myself, it's trying to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. So since I started working with the GameDevHQ, I haven't been able to like actually code and develop anything at all. And what I thought would be cool is not only for me to have time to get back into development to pursue my own goals as a game developer, but to do it all live in a sense that I'm still a student. I've only been doing stuff for about like a year. So since I've only been doing stuff for about a year, I do have what I call my C# Bible, which I've been talking about constantly. Let me see if I can find the actual good parts. So like if you look on it, my terrible handwriting, but I color code everything and I write down literally every single syntax, comparison, all the function understandings, and I go through the entire understanding of C#. So I have it all written here for me to go through. And I went through it earlier and it kind of looked like gibberish, so it's been that long. Like it's been 6 months since I've actually opened Unity. So it's going to be interesting. Y'all going to see me struggle a lot to catch back up and get refreshed. I spent a good most of yesterday and earlier this afternoon trying to brush back up, and I got stuck quite often. But the goal is to kind of have that student research vibe where we're all kind of working together trying to meet a goal. So if I get stuck, I'm going to rely not only on the Unity scripting, but for us as a group and the audience to communicate and be like, hey, it might be this, or try this, etc. There's probably going to be issues with anybody who has, if anybody wants to write any code out to help out with the stream, use Hastebin. And so that is this, if you don't have that. So prep Hastebin. So if you write out any code and you want to send it to me, you can just send that link into YouTube. YouTube will notify me that someone is trying to send the link, and I'll accept it. And then I'll be able to see the coding that you've implemented to try to help out whenever there's something that gets stuck. And we want to make sure that when we go over the code that we're understanding it. So if we're looking up stuff in the scripting API and we start copy and pasting, I'll copy and paste stuff, but then we'll stop and make sure that we understand it before we move forward. If we don't understand it, there's no point moving forward, because then that's just being spoon-fed off of an article on the internet, which is terrible, terrible. Don't want to do that. So for the first part is obviously we need to figure out what it is that we're going to make. And so from that, we're really just going to talk about, here, let me check on chat real fast. I haven't seen the chats. Look for a way to get satisfaction. What do you think about Google Play? How long will the stream be? The stream length is going to be really just kind of based on how smooth things go, how far we get, and so on. So it could be an hour, it could be 2 hours. Hopefully not beyond 2 hours, but 1 to 2, somewhere in there is the goal. All right, so in this case, the way that I try to come up with stuff is I always go through like the top games and I try to find the category. So in this case, the categories that I really want to play with is going to be just like the casual stuff, just because those usually have very simple mechanics in it. And we just want to find like arcade stuff. So maybe arcade. Is that on here? Is there really not arcade? Here we go. Sweet. So we just want to find like really simple games. And then when we find a list of simple games, we're going to grab 10 titles, and then we're going to write down the name of the title and the actual function of the title, abbreviate it, and assign it a number. Then after we've assigned it a number, we're going to use this random number generator to pair up 2 of the actual games. And when we pair them up, we try to come up with an idea of what game we can make if we were to combine the core elements of both. Oh my goodness, I am not my orientation. Yeah, try to combine both elements of the core game and make something different out of it that doesn't exist, perhaps. If that sounds like something y'all are interested in, to see the outcome, to see what kind of games we can come up with, we can do that. Or if you would prefer just to talk about it and come up with an idea in chat, we can do that route as well. I'll wait for the stream to catch up with you guys. We're going to aim for 2D just out of simplicity for myself. And then as we kind of get the ball rolling and I get more refreshed, we'll move into 3D elements later. So do y'all want to do it through my method, or would you prefer just to discuss it? So my method, again, that's grab multiple titles, assign them a number, generate a number twice, and then combine them. And then that will create an idea. And then we can discuss whether that idea is viable or even sounds decent. Yeah, no, we're skipping the Minecraft part. We're going for the free. What do we got here? Yeah, exactly. So like we saw Pac-Man and we saw Snake, we'd be like, all right, so how can we combine the two? And then you would be like, all right, so let's combine the elements of Pac-Man would be going around the screen collecting the dots and whatnot. Every time he collects a dot, he's growing, making it harder and harder to get across the maze. Same idea, same concept. So now you have this totally different idea from two different games. Malq, Prince of Persia is a much more in-depth idea. The goal is to kind of just mix stuff together and kind of come up with something super duper casual. We want to try to make very simple functions. We're going to start with very simple, and then we're going to talk about a lot of the rewarding player experience. So, for example, let's take a look at a game real quick. Here we go. All right, so here's Helix Jump, right? So Helix Jump has, wow, 3 million reviews. Where do I find the total downloads in this sucker? Right. All right, 41 million downloads on this game. So the fact that there's 41 million downloads, and look what this game actually is, right? So you can see that the colors are vibrant. So you already know that the colors are nice. There's no trailer, I don't think. Is there a way for me to find a trailer? I don't think they actually have one. But there's a couple things that you can note. So the whole point of the game is that this little ball here is bouncing up and down on the actual Helix component. And as it's bouncing, you're tapping and dragging your screen to spin the screw for it to fall through the holes. And when it falls through those holes, you just continue to go down until you get to the bottom. Like, explaining it that way sounds super duper boring, but when you actually play the game and see how the components works, it actually becomes addicting. And the reason is because it's very rewarding. So for example, you can see that the ball itself has like a motion drag behind it. So there's that visual of the motion drag. You can see that up on the top, while the ball is bouncing, while it actually hits and collides with things, it's splattering, it's sending particles everywhere. This is the example that I use all the time. And so it's literally, it's splattering, the effects are going everywhere, and when you actually make it through this hole, the entire level from above collapses and falls all the way down to the bottom of the screen. So you watch it fall, you watch it break apart, and then it collects your points when you get to the very bottom, and the entire level just evaporates and it goes on to the next one. And those little tiny things, it goes by so quickly and so smoothly that it feels really good to play that game. And all it is, it's a super simple function. You're just moving the screw and getting the ball through the hole, and that's it. That is all you're doing in this entire game. But it's complex enough in terms of visualizations that it's rewarding to play. And so keeping that in mind when you're making really simple games, it's very easy to make it addicting if you just kind of play the psychology of it a bit. And so that's what we're going to try to accomplish, is to make something super duper simple that at a standpoint might sound kind of boring, but when it's there, we have addicting patterns that we're going to start adding into it, including visuals, particle effects, stuff like that. But that's, of course, long term. But hopefully if we find something simple enough that we want to make, we can actually get to that point pretty quickly. So let's go back to the top charts. Oh, like Burger King. Burger King and McDonald's, combine them. Weird, it looks like Wendy's. All right. Give me my categories. All right, so what do we got here? Let's see. I don't know if you guys can hear this or not. Nope, it has no sound. All right, so this is Stickman Hook. And it looks, this is actually super duper fast pace. Ooh, that's some really clean physics in this one. All right, so the concept of this one is you're trying to basically go through an obstacle course with different mechanics. You primarily look like Spider-Man. It's got a lot of different action adaptations to it. So let's just say that the summary of this would be a Spider-Man type swinging system. So Spider-Man swinging is all on our first one. I need a way to write this down real fast. Let me just pull up a notepad. So game one, Stickman Hook, Spider-Man swinging is the core function out of it. That's number one. And what do we got here? We've got paper IO. Let's see if this is simple or if it's beyond simple. To be honest, I have no idea what's happening in this game by looking at the pictures, which isn't a good thing, even though it's got a lot of downloads. Alright, let's see what the description says about it. Maybe it'll tell us something. Like paper IO, you'll love paper 2.io. Conquer as much territory as possible and beat the competition. I assume you're just your color and you're trying to... Alright, well, we're going to stay away from this one. Looks like it's online. We're not going to do any online functions, so we're going to drop that one. Let's see. This is a spinning top using physics. This is basically Beyblade online. Let me see if I can change it to not be online. Alright, anyway. Subway Surfers is another one. Turn that on right quick. I'm pretty sure it's just an endless runner. Yeah, so to sum it up, it is an endless runner. It's an infinite runner. You collect some coins. Pretty standard. Every endless runner ever does the exact same thing. So let's state it as number 2, endless runner. Coin collection. Endless runner. Coin collection. And it is called Subway Surfers. And let's see. One second, guys. Just a sec. All right. Next one. Got Planet Bombers here. Let's see what this has got going on. Oh, that looks pretty interesting. Let me check chat real quick. Right, stickmanswing.io, battle each other, Spider-Man type figures, and swing around to show the players. Yeah, so Omega, we're not combining them until after we've gotten a list, and then we're going to just randomly pick from the hat, basically. So don't worry about trying to come up with too many ideas just yet. I'm going to try to quickly go through these. So let's see. Planet Bomber, it looks like you pick a bunch of different weapons. When you pick the weapon, I'm sure you pick the direction in which you attack it. It looks like a different version of the... like that knife shooting game type thing. So it looks like you're shooting rockets, trying to get to the center of the Earth to destroy the planet. That's pretty cool. So let's say... Yeah, we're not doing multiplayer. Just because of... That's a limitation for myself. We can look at that when we make something that looks awesome, and if we decide it would be cool multiplayer, then I'll go bug John to teach me how to do multiplayer. Alright, so Planet Bomber... Let's see, weapon types, destroy planets or objects, digs into the center. It's kind of like a dig dug, but very explosive. Alright, let's see what else we got. Stickman, we've already looked at. You know what, I'm gonna let's do... Let's add Fruit Ninja to it. Alright? Let's see what we got besides the standard. Alright. 4 Fruit Ninja. Oh, look at that. And then we find out it's a card game. That guy a pineapple? He's a pineapple. He's really a pineapple. Alright, is this going to show me gameplay? That's the only thing I'm interested in, guys. Nope. How about this? Nope. But we know how Fruit Ninja works. So let's do Fruit Ninja. Tap and swipe to destroy fruits or objects. It's also important that we note the actual functionality if we know it. If we know how functions work. So if it's a tap, if it's a swipe, if it's orientation checking and rotation, like driving type stuff, those different mechanics of how the game is played is important as well. Let's see. I need to do top free. Yeah, I think I might be a pineapple. You could be correct. I'm not going to argue with you there. Fireballs 3D is a single tap hyper casual game that will keep you hooked for hours. Game features unlimited levels and 20 beautiful colored themes. So it looks like you just tap it and it shoots a ball, and then what? It would be really nice to know. Yeah, I can read more reviews, but I don't want to do that. Man. Is there no details on this? This is much easier to do when you're actually like on your phone, because when you're on your phone and you're looking, you can just quickly download it, and there's usually like way more details. I feel like this is lacking details. 3 sentences to explain what your game is insane. So that's got to be something just because I'm on the desktop version. All right, let's see. Let's see what this is. Knock balls. There we go. Something with the video on it, so we understand how it works. All right, so that's very simple. That's just that carnival game. So I assume they're tapping in. All right, knock balls. 5 knock balls. Shoots a cannonball into standing boxes to knock them down with the least amount shots. It's probably the goal. Tap to shoot. Possibly aiming adjustment. Not sure how they do the aiming adjustment based on this video. Let's see, show. Somebody sent something here. What do we got? Oh, wow. Okay, so that's the ball. Alright, cool. That's actually pretty interesting. So, 1 sec here. We will do this. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so that's fireballs. How to make more. That's actually pretty neat, not gonna lie. That's a very, very simple function, but you know you would love sitting there slapping that, trying to get past those little walls to collect a chest at the end. So let me write that down. What was the name of it again? Fireballs. 1 second. I accidentally closed out chat, so give me just a second. 1 second. Ugh, come on, give me the buttons. Just need the buttons, yo. Pop out this chat. There we go. And now I can see you guys again. Please. Pull that over here. Awesome. So RS says, how about playing a screw which tries to get as deep as it can into the ground? You're thinking too far ahead. Too far ahead. Not a bad idea, just too far ahead. Fireballs. Tap screen to shoot a ball object down a path. Trying to avoid rotating obstacles to hit a target enough times to collect the reward. Alright, let's see. Cool. Let's see what this buddy's got. Tap to start fishing. Alright, so this one looks pretty standard. It's just tap the screen and it goes down, and then hopefully try to avoid stuff, it looks like, probably. Cast your line, reach the depths, catch as many fish as you can on your way up, upgrade your gear to catch more fish and dive deeper, make rare finds and discover new species. Simple addictive gameplay, tap, cast down to catch as many fish as you can, upgrade your net to grab more fish and reach deeper depths. Old fishermen will continue to earn money from you when you're away. That's cool. Let me write that one down. All right, man. Have a good one. Have a good night. All right, let me see here. 6. Let's see. Go fish. Tap the screen to drop the hook and dive into the depths to collect fish. The farther you can go down, the better the rewards. Upgrade your gear to move further in the game. We'll probably just grab like 2 more. 2 more that look super duper simple. Let's see. We've already got Temple Run. Let's see what this is. Oh my lord. As long as you stay on the twisty road, roll along the road, shatter glass for points. If you're courageous enough, jump off the road to skip ahead. Be careful you don't fall too long for the game. Okay, so it's kind of like an endless runner, but it's got a unique twist to it, it looks like. It's kind of like more like a marble racing almost. So let's do twisty road, marble racing concept on a twisting and winding path. Controlled ball to not fall off. Path, control the ball, not fall off. Can tap to bounce and skip areas, but could potentially lose that way. Do one more. Sanic! What about the fishing game with the magnets where you catch not fish but robots, metallic stuff like guns, etc.? Yeah, it's a cool idea. We can talk about it after we finish the little experiment here. Let's see. What is this? That's off to a good start. You broke Grandma's face. Awesome. Can you imagine being hunted for breaking a vase? Wow. This is pretty intricate. Got a lot of elements to it. Alright, so it is a survival horror. We're going to put that down and just kind of go over this brief mechanics of it. That's actually really cool. Alright. Checking chat. You're an Italian plumber. You collect stars to save a princess that you fell in love with but got kidnapped by this ugly looking dragon thing. Yeah, it could be like Game of Thrones, the platformer. Alright, so let me put down, let's see, survival horror. It's called Granny. Puzzle elements, hiding and stealth, and hunting AI, we'll call it. Alright, we're just going to do these 8 here, and then let me see if I can do this number real quick. add a new window capture for you guys. Where? Oop, keep. Wait. Alright, so we're just going to move this over. This? Nope. Cool. Alright, so here's our 8. We got Stickman, Hook, Spider-Man swinging, Subway Surfers, Endless Runner with Coin Collection, Planet Bomber, Weapon Types, Destroy the Planet or Objects, Digs in the Center, Fruit Ninja, Tap and Swipe, Destroy Fruits or Objects, Knock Balls, shoots a cannonball into standing boxes to knock them down with the least amount of shots, tap to shoot, possibly aiming adjustments. Fireballs, tap screen to shoot a ball, object down a path, trying to avoid rotating obstacles to hit a target enough times to collect the reward. Go fish, tap the screen, drop the hook, and dive into the depths to collect fish. The farther you can go down, the better the rewards. Upgrade your gear to move further in the game. Twisty Road, marble racing concept on a twisting and winding path. Control the ball to not fall off, and can tap and bounce to skip areas. Could potentially lose that way. Granny, survival horror, puzzle elements, hiding and stealth, and hunting AI. So those are our components, and I'm going to put them away for right now. And poop. Alright, and then we need to see our random number generator. Q. Chat. Grandma Simulator. You're a grandma. You level up and produce more cookies over time. The more cookies you can make, the more kitchen equipment you can get to make even more cookies. Hey, I mean, realistically, those are addictive casual elements, and that could be put together and probably work. I mean, it's a very, like, if I remember right, statistically, I think the mobile market's like dominated by older women, so that could work. You just gotta be like, instead of grandma, you could be like, I don't know, you don't want to make them feel old. You don't want to make people feel old, man. All right, let's take a look. So we are going to now start generating it, and let's see what happens. So for the first one, we got number 3. So number 3 is Planet Bomber. Weapon types: destroy a planet or object, digs into the center, and then we got number 2. And I just messed up my clicks. Number 2, Subway Surfers, Endless Runner, Coin Collection. All right. And so let's poke it. Let's just poke the idea here. So it was Subway Surfers, and number 3 was Planet Bomber. Where's that at? I think it was a side game. All right, so now we have to determine if we can properly come up with an idea that makes sense from these two. And if we can't, then we just regenerate, basically. All right, so our 2 ideas is we got Planet Bomber, which your goal is, again, you're trying to get farther and farther into the center of the Earth. You're shooting weapons and rockets at it, trying to move deeper and deeper into it. And let's see. And then you're also, it looks like you're progressing by gathering points, which I assume you can't immediately get to the center. So every time that you try, you get farther and farther, and then you level it up more and more to reach closer and closer to the center. Oh, it was right next to it. Awesome. Was it actually? Awesome, it was. My bad, guys. All right, so Planet Bomber. And then we got the Endless Runner concept of continuously collecting coins forever for the rest of your life. So what if we did like a Endless Runner where you're collecting fuel or collecting ammunition, and I don't know, so you're collecting ammunition, what are you trying to reach? So even though it's endless, right? So what if there is something instead that's also running from you, and you're trying to destroy it by collecting the ammo you find as you're constantly running and avoiding obstacles? So it actually does end by you completing the level for managing to destroy a boss or something at the other side. Does that sound viable? I don't know if that sounds viable. It's kind of just, it's just thrown out there, but then we start fleshing it out, like what makes sense for it. So the base idea, paraphrase, it's an endless runner with an enemy that you're chasing down and trying to kill, and you're actually attacking it. I'll wait for the chat to catch up, and then we'll toss another one. But let me write it down. Idea number 1. Endless runner with enemy AI running away from you, collecting ammunition or other power-ups to destroy the running enemy. We could even be awesome about it and like pick up speed pickups. So if you wanted to use like a sword or something to kill them, you could start running faster than them at some point and catch up and then just like stab them in the back. So you could make it almost even an RPG. So you could do the RPG-ish elements of making like thief, warrior, and mage, give them different pickups that'll get them closer and closer to closing the gap or doing more and more damage to hit them while they're far away. That would actually be pretty dope. All right, let's see. Check the chat. All right, endless runner, where you die, you can try to destroy the thing, and you gather supplies to try to destroy the thing at the end. What's the thing at the end, though, Zach? Give me details. What about the disc is spinning, forcing you out, and you need to pick up stuff to get a boost that lets you move in? While you're running, you collect weapons to blast your way to the next levels. Dodging blocks that are coming from the middle of the disc. So we got a disc is spinning, forcing you out. You need to pick stuff up to get a boost that lets you move in. Could you elaborate more on that, Mal? Dodging blocks that are coming from the middle of the disc. So the middle, so the whole disc is spinning, and in the center, it's shooting things. And you're on the outside of the disc, trying to move closer to the center. And while you're trying to move closer to the center, what happens when you reach the center? And I also like the idea of while running, you collect weapons to blast your way to the next level. It would be cool to like be doing an endless runner and you get stopped for a second to have to like break something down. But you'd have to think, how can we keep the pace of an endless runner? So to keep the pace of an endless runner, you have to literally not actually stop moving. So that's becomes the problem of it. Is there's also that 20-second delay on YouTube right now. So whenever I'm trying to walk through these ideas you guys have, I don't hear your feedback until 10 days later. Yeah, that's sort of the idea. All right, so but what happens when you reach the center, though, Mal? So I like that idea. Like, I do like that idea that you have the disc and it's spinning and it's shooting the blocks out, and you're trying to get closer and closer to the center. But then we have to now... Yeah. Do the thing Red Dead 2 does with the shooting. I haven't played Red Dead 2, so you'll have to be detailed. Give me some details, Zach. Remove the word thing in your explanations. Possibly when you reach the center, you can climb up to get to the next level. Okay. Well, so if you're climbing up, that means you're trying to get into something. What about, let's see. What if it's like a journey to the center of the earth type thing where... Well, no. Because that takes away the disc. I'm just trying to think of what's Alright, well, let me write down that idea real quick, because I do like it. So let's see. Idea number 2. Spinning disc that is shooting objects from its center. Collect things from within this spinning disc to maintain your presence and ability to move forward. We'll have to really kind of like flesh that out to make it make proper sense and see if it's even doable. But let's move on to the next one here, and let's see. Let me just double check chats. So how it slows everything down when you click when you want to shoot, and then it speeds up and it shoots where you plan to shoot when it was slow. Okay, yeah, so just control the time. And it speeds up and shoots where you plan to shoot when it was slow. Now, that last part's a little bit confusing. I'll look it up to see what you're talking about. Let's see. RRS, we can grab your fishing idea at the end. What about Indiana Jones runner trying to escape from a big rock? I feel like that's the Indiana Jones aspect is exactly where Temple Run came from. Like Temple Run, the whole concept of Temple Run is you're running away from a bunch of monkeys and sometimes a rock from a temple that you were exploring, aka Indiana Jones, the mobile game. So we would have to have an element that doesn't already exist in the Endless Runner concept. So an element that doesn't exist is actually fighting something. At least that I haven't seen. I haven't seen personally. That could be incorrect, but an element that makes it unique is that something like you're fighting it, or you have the spinning object. So then you're trying to run across a spinning. It's kind of reminds me of like a funhouse type thing. But the control for that, I don't think will be viable on mobile, because I mean, when you walk into this disc, the disc is constantly rotating. And you run out on the disc, and it starts spinning you around, and so now you're watching the new focal point, which is the center. You're watching it as it rotates around. And then what are you doing from there? Are you... You could do it like almost like maybe like a maze. So it could be kind of like almost like a spinning labyrinth, maybe? Like the labyrinth is spinning and it's sending stuff out. I don't know. I can't think of a way. Solving puzzles is what we need to integrate. Yeah, I agree. Solving puzzles would be nice, but that stops. We have to find a way to solve a puzzle that would be fast enough. Maybe as you pick items up, you then use the items to kill the boss in the center of the disc. So imagine yourself as the player, and you're picking up a bunch of items, and in the center is a boss. When you go and you try to annihilate the boss with the weapons that you've collected, if you didn't collect enough weapons, the boss kills you. So then you have to determine how much value each weapon is. I feel like that's a lot of pre-planning that the user has to do in order to successfully progress in the level. They'll have to die multiple times in order for them to learn the damage capability. And I think that would drive players away, in my opinion. I wouldn't want to play if I'm trying to pick up something hyper casual. I need to do less thinking and more understanding of the area around me. So I'm not thinking of the future. I'm only thinking of what I can currently see. So like in Temple Run and things like that, you're only paying attention to literally what's in front of you, trying to avoid it. And that's your thought process. You're not wondering about, at the end of the level, there's a boss that I gotta fight. Make sure I pick up enough weapons that'll kill the boss in the meantime. And so we would have to make a way that is clear for the user. So to make it clear for the user, you can say that you continue going down this path, trying to collect a set number of damage by collecting weapons. So say you pick up a pistol and it's 10 damage, pick up an assault rifle, it's 15 damage, pick up a rocket launcher and it's 30 damage. And then when you've reached enough damage total, it then automatically starts pathing you, and the path changes. Suddenly weapons stop spawning on the runner and you're still going down, and then the boss starts rising at the end of the horizon and you get to it, and you now have to use those weapons to kill the boss. That could work. That could possibly work. But that removes the spinning disc thing. So we have to reevaluate what your goal is to collect enough points to destroy the boss at the end. So then the endless runner factor is you can speed run it to where you learn, where those points, those spawn points are, and the amount of, let's see.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another
You
Red
said
Dead
750.
Redemption 2 feature overview. In today's episode, upgrade much like how
This is an ad.
Turning off that ad inside of our ad inside of the ad. Yeah, so it's slow motion, takes on bullet time. So returns, if you're familiar with it, works as you expect. Well, now it has 5 discrete level. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. No, I feel like that's too complicated. I don't think that's not casual enough. Think very, very simple mechanics. Let's see. So task A is to get to the center. Task B is complete this level. You need to kill the boss. So I like the idea of collecting ammo and things like that while it's doing the endless runner. So you're running and running and running, and there's things that are like weapons that are spawning, and then you jump to the lane to collect the weapons, and there's a little meter at the top that's keeping up with how much firepower you actually have. And then when it starts flashing or something, that's telling you that you have enough power to defeat the boss at the level. And then when you have enough power to defeat the boss, you then can like click it or tell it that you want to then progress towards the boss. So you're not actually progressing towards the boss at the beginning. You're progressing towards preparing to destroy the boss. And then when you're ready, you then say, okay, take me to the boss that's on this level now that I have enough equipment. And then the animation is you running still like you normally were, but then the path alters, and then you go down a different path that you never went down before, and the boss is there prepping for you. And then you'll have to use the weapons that you've picked up. Very, very simplistic way too. It would have to be very, very simple. Like maybe there's just little thumb-sized taps of the weapons that you got, and it's auto-locked, and you're just tapping them in a certain order, perhaps. So you can make the boss fights interesting to where only certain weapons can be fired at certain times. So maybe they put up a shield, and when they put up a shield, it's only viable to destroy the shield with a rocket launcher. So that creates a little bit of the, like, you know what you're going for by watching the total amount of damage that you need to do. But when you get to that boss, it's possible if you've collected too many assault rifles and not enough rocket launchers that you could potentially be out of luck. Like you could be screwed in some way. That might actually work. And then you could do you could do monetization and be like, oh, I see you need a rocket launcher in this situation and you didn't collect enough. Do you want to restart, or do you want to buy this rocket launcher for 10 cents? That's how the monetization stuff kind of works. Hey, Justin, how's it going, man? All right, so let's say idea number 3. We're gonna call that idea number 3 because it's separate. Idea number 3: endless runner, chasing down ammo and firepower. When complete, sent to a boss. The boss needs to be taken down with the weapons you found. Only certain weapons may trigger damaging the boss in some areas. That makes the bosses difficult and valuable, so that way it's actually entertaining to reach the boss. And then the failure aspect is that you didn't get enough of the right equipment to take the boss down. And there can be like tooltips about the boss, you know, what the boss does. And then we can worry about its theme and stuff like that later if we choose that idea. Alright. Yeah, so in order to lose is that aspect. Hey Andrew, how's it going? So student research, basically it's the community kind of working together to make a game from scratch and kind of learn as we go, because I myself have only been developing for about a year, so I'll be learning as everybody else is learning, and we'll all just be kind of working together to complete a project. At least that's the goal. Today is kind of the first test route to see how that goes. Yeah, I know it's a dope idea. It's called student research because we're all students and we're all researching together. All right, let's see. R&D, you take too much damage from the objects coming at you while you are collecting the ammo. Gotta go. All right, Zach, see you later. All right, so we can break it down more later, but I think the base idea that we have is good for that one. So we have 3 ideas from just 2 game combinations. So we combined the ideas that we got from Planet Bomber and Subway Surfers, and by combining those, we've managed to come up with 3 individual ideas. So you'll kind of get the idea here. So now we're gonna move on to one more. We're gonna generate one more. So we got number 1 and number 8. Number 1 and number 8. Let's see what we got here. We pull up window cap. All right, so number 1, Stickman Hook. That's the Spider-Man swinging type mechanic, 2D. I need to put 2D there. And then number 8 is all right, Granny survival horror. All right, now picture Spider-Man, but his Aunt May got possessed by the devil, and you're trying to run from a possessed magical entity inside of your Aunt May. Oh, jeez. All right, so let's see if we can't come up with anything. It's a challenge already looking at that. Like, those 2 combinations, it's a bad one. Like, generally, you'll have to decide to start changing things up. All right, so let's see. Lucky Ducky, is that your name on Fortnite? May know you. Number 1 is my fave. Yeah, it really is tough. So now we have to see if we can come up with an idea using the swinging function of a Spider-Man game and being a survival horror. So how can we swing like Spider-Man while also terrified trying to survive? What can we put together for that combination? Because that's going to be an interesting combination. Let's grab the titles, of course, put them next to each other as we do. All right, here's Granny. And here's Stickman Hook. And for those of you who are just tuning in, what's happening is we're taking projects that already exist. We're taking games that already exist. We're assigning them a number. So we have 8 projects here. Let me check the OBS, my bad. All right, so we have 8 projects, 8 games, sorry. And then we're just literally generating a number between each game, and then we combine those ideas. So we have survival horror Granny, and then we have Spider-Man's hyper casual Stickman Hook. So again, people who are just here, this is Stickman Hook. We're emphasizing the swinging mechanic. The rest of the stuff's not as important. What's important is the core mechanic is the fact that you can swing around on things. That's the core mechanic here. And then the core mechanic on Granny is that it's terrifying. And you're using stealth to... oh my god, I think I just came up with an idea. Alright, so you're using stealth to hide from a horror entity, which is your grandma. Alright, okay. So here's my idea. Alright. I'm not going to read chat yet. I just pulled it up, so that's a lie, but I'm not going to read it. So, what if you're using what if it's still a stealth-based scenario, and the way that you get around is you use a Spider-Man-like function to shoot out a web or shoot out a grappling hook to grab objects that you can see in front of you and move them around the room to your advantage to reach an exit point without getting caught. And so you're moving the room around and changing it like Helter Skelter style, where things are just being altered based on where you shoot the web and grab it and pull it real quick and reel it in or something and move the block to make an opening for you to sneak past, or to put a chair somewhere that wasn't there before or something. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Random idea. I thought it'd be pretty neat. Let's see. All right, let me read chat now. What do we got? Spider Grandma. All right, so let's make a ham grandma who collects guns and is badass like Broforce. No. All right, maybe you're swinging through the map, dodging zombies, and each time you get hit, you get older and eventually die. Huh. That's an interesting concept as well. So you're swinging through, dodging zombies. Broke Grandma's dentures. She's chasing you, and now you have to run from her via swinging ropes. It's Grandma in the jungle, so it's like Tarzan. You're actually Tarzan running from giant Grandma monkeys, and they are trying to hunt you down for breaking monkey dentures. No, none of that. I don't know. I can't think of anything extremely viable except for maybe that, like that random idea. So I'm just gonna write down that random idea that I had real quick. Obviously, we're very unlikely to use it, but it's to give you the point here. So let's see. Player is stealth-based, trying to move through an area, and has one special ability, which is to shoot a grappling hook and pull items around the room, or it can be used to set up traps like tripwire. So we could do it where you shoot two locations without pulling. If you haven't pulled, then you can shoot a second location. It'll create like a tripwire effect, and the NPC that's walking around might trip on it and fall, and then you can like take them out or something. Just saying, man. Just saying. Goal is to escape without being seen. I love stealth games. Stealth games are like my favorite thing ever. So, all right. Nobody else got anything there that's like realistic. I'm ignoring you entirely, Omega, from here forward. I'm just kidding. Keep them coming, man. Comedic relief is needed. So let's see. All right, so we're gonna move away from that one. Like I said, it was gonna be really, really hard, but that is one of the downsides of this. But it makes you stop and really have to think: is it possible to combine those? Like some of these combinations you'll never see. Like you're not gonna see a game where you're literally like prowling around a horror type scenario where it's actually scary or something, and you're only the only thing you can do is move objects around to freak things out and like make it second guess. Because I mean, it would be horror based creatures, so they wouldn't be like a guard walking around an area, because the guard would know where things were, but like a random entity, like a random zombie or something that's clueless, is looking for sounds and visual cues. So you can move the entire room around, and unless it's intelligent enough to realize that the room has changed, the smallest way for you to slip past like an open crevice or something, then there's no downside of doing that system, because you could still keep it where it's not ridiculously unrealistic. Because having it where it's guards that are people as smart as you, and you're moving chairs and walls around and stuff, they would notice that. So keeping the horror element makes it where you can say, well, they're just stupid brainless zombies. Justice says, I'm coming in late, so this might not be helpful, but would this be where Spider-Man is trying to survive with limited web abilities, having to hide, sneak to get what you need to survive? Yeah, so Justin, what we're doing is VR suitable game. I think you'd love the new Spider-Man. Yeah, so the new Spider-Man, I know I'd probably love it. Like, I love stealth games, like, in general. Like, Skyrim, I'm playing the crap out of Skyrim right now, and, like, my entire existence is based on stealth. Like always. How many times I make a character? Anyway, all right. So Justin, what we're doing is, like I said, we're combining the ideas, combining multiple ideas, and then just coming up with a way that we can make a singular hyper casual game, or at least very, very simple game, off those ideas. And I don't think we can, because of the granny itself is extremely intricate. I think it would be kind of difficult to come up with some stuff there. So we're gonna skip it. We're gonna move on to the next one here, and we're gonna regenerate real fast. So we got 2. We've already done 2. So let's see if we can't get a new number. Let's do 5. 5 and 6. Numbers we haven't done yet. All right. All right. So 5 is knock balls, where you're shooting a cannonball into standing boxes to knock them down with the least amount of shots. Tap to shoot, possible aiming adjustment. So that's basically that carnival game where you have the milk jug stacked on top of each other and you throw a ball at it. That's that is what that game is, just using a different skin. And then number 6, looks like I goofed here. Did I do it twice? Oh, I knocked balls and fireballs. I goofed. So we've got, actually, we have 9. So you know what I'm going to do real quick? I'm going to toss one into the pot just to make it even. Oh, yeah, let's be really annoying. And I'm not even going to explain it. If you don't know what Flappy Bird is, I'm sorry. Shouldn't be doing this. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so now I'm going to up this number generator real fast. There we go. Cool. Alright, so we got fireballs. Just tap on the screen to shoot the ball and object down a path, trying to avoid rotating obstacles to hit a target enough times to collect the reward. So that is fireballs. Let's grab it. Turn off this window. It's in y'all's face. Fireballs. And look how there's Fire Stack Tower right next to it. So here, actually, this is a good example. This should be a good example. So let's take a look at this. So Fire Stack Tower is clearly the exact same game as Fireballs 3D, right? But when you look at it, you can see that even though the mechanics are the same, visually it doesn't look as pleasing. Like, this doesn't look well put together or well rendered. It looks super basic, like it was just made in like Pro Builder and then put out there without any skinning or any lighting understanding or anything. There's a basic directional light, and it's kind of ugly. And then if you take this one, it's literally the exact same. We have an entire scenery. We have textured water. We have different lighting settings. We have there's probably post-processing on it with I think it's like post-processing light or whatnot to give it like this hue where it's like it's brighter on the bottom and then it gets kind of changes colors just a little bit in the tone as it goes on. It's like it's almost like the tint of the map is applied to the entire camera. And then it just overall looks more, like way more beautiful. And I guarantee you, when it collides with this level, let's see. We had that, didn't we? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, take a look at that. So you see how it collides with the level? Look what it's doing. So you're not just knocking it down. Look at the actual visualization of that tower collapsing. So it's like a seismic animation. So imagine like a tower actually crumbling down on the ground. It's actually creating like this pulse that's the color of whatever level area that it's at, whatever floor it's at. And then the gem is here in the center for you to hit and collect. So it's visually way more appealing. So when you see stuff like this, and then you can find it, like this dude probably has, yeah, look at this. He has 20 million downloads from copying the exact same game. That's wild, isn't it? It's literally just a replica. But the other aspect is potentially that this came from Voodoo. So Voodoo is a publisher. So Voodoo takes games and says, hey, here's all the stuff that your game needs to be successful. And they're the ones who kind of help push the idea of what we talk about, the rewarding player experience. So Voodoo as a publisher, that's what they do, is they go through and they tell you what your game needs. Yeah, see, like even the color, it feels like there's a tint that matches the color of the area. Could be wrong, but let's see. No, 5 and 6. Yeah, they're very similar. They're very similar. So let me pull them back up just to make sure you guys see that they are not the same game. I was just talking about the comparison of how those games are literally kind of the same thing. Yeah, see, here's another one right here, like Stack. It's kind of the exact same thing. It's just a little bit different. Yeah, the sounds are great though. Yeah, that's the same game. Only a 3.8 and 36 million downloads. Like, it's crazy, guys. Like, the mobile market, you can make some of the simplest things and go so far with it. So jump on it. All right, so we had fireballs. Got fireballs here. Second one is knockballs. I think that we could come up with different names, right? All right. All right, so here is knockballs. This is the second one. Well, the first one that was chosen. So 5 and 6. This is number 5. Knockballs. Real simple, right? It's that carnival game. So now let's combine these mechanics. All right. So y'all seen those videos enough times now in a row, hopefully. All right, cool. Yeah. On there. All right. So what can we do to combine these two games to come up with an idea that's viable? My idea off the top of my head is, since the first one is based on a cannon, so like if we did a cannon setup, right? You got the cannon that you tap. Maybe you can like swipe to turn the cannon. So like you can like swipe and drag to turn the cannon that way. And then you're shooting it at just a massive tower, like a Jenga type tower instead, or something. And you're trying to hit the individual bars, and it's on a rotating platform. So it's like a Jenga platform that's rotating, and you're shooting to hit it, to pull off as many as you possibly can before it collapses. So it takes skill to not only aim, but to determine, based on the physics, how many blocks can be removed and that it'll still stand. I think that would be awesome. Jenga tower defense. So basically add aiming to fire tower and stack up blocks. You drive the cannon, basically turn fire tower into a platformer with a cannon. So where are we driving the cannon to? Well, before we start discussing that, let me write down my idea real quick so we don't lose it. So idea number 5 is cannon. Tap the cannon to shoot at a Jenga style tower to knock out individual bricks to get as low as you can without the tower falling down. Let's see. Well, I think it could be gamed really hard. So I think if you have just a Jenga-like tower and you're shooting at it, a smart person would just shoot at the top individual pieces and work their way down. What if we could do it where there is like a target area or something? So like there's a targeted area that you could potentially hit at, and then the target area maybe like changes, or like the target area is perhaps moving, and so like you have to shoot it through an area or something. Yeah, target area is moving, shoot through target area to hit the building. This way people can't game the system by just knocking off top blocks only. And then put a timer. And a timer. That's so bad. That's so messed up. Ugh, that would be such a pain, I think. But I also, at the same time, it'd be challenging enough. It's really simple mechanics, and it's equally challenging. So let's see. Let's see what everyone's talking about. Alright, back to Omega. Shooting platformer, driving the cannon around obstacles and such to get to the blocks to knock down the blocks. And ammunition, limitation bombs, etc. So, for a platformer, generally, let me know if you guys can't hear me as well. I'm trying to relax my back here for a second while thinking. So generally for a platformer, it's, you know, here's your screen, right? And you're moving around spot to spot. You said you're trying to get to the blocks, knock the blocks down. Where are the blocks at? Explain where the blocks are. Where am I going? Try to give me a stronger visualization of what it is. Let's see. We don't actually use Twitch, so you gotta give us that YouTube +1, man. All right, so 373, maybe hit 2 walls of blocks. First a knock balls wall, Then the balls you knocked should hit the next wall, which is a fireball's wall. So you're saying you're shooting through a wall that you have to collapse, and then to shoot through the wall, you're trying to hit another tower on the other side to knock it down. I feel like that becomes redundant. Like you're doing the same thing twice. It doesn't change the function. I'm waiting on Omega to give me a... You mean I'm thinking in 3D, so maybe that's why. Yeah, if you're thinking in 3D, that might be part of the issue, yeah. So you're driving around the map. So what are the like... Try to think of some wording to determine better what you mean, because what I'm picturing like the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong, where you're in the cart with Diddy Kong and you're going around the track and collecting bananas. That's what I'm picturing, but you're a cannon tank and you're trying to collect stuff to shoot at blocks or something. Or what if that's way beyond these two games combination, but what if it is something where like the map is moving and it's like different paths and you're trying to stay on the paths, so it's like a almost endless runner side scroller type thing going on, but your cannon is actually faced towards the side. So if here's the background, your cannon is actually facing the background, and in the background is the tower, and you're trying to maneuver around. So you're trying to now get around the level obstacles to collect cannonballs or something, to collect ammo, to go back to the center to shoot at the tower and break it down. That makes sense? I feel like that makes sense. Obstacles you would find in any 3D platformer. Think of Mario Odyssey or 64, just a lot less complicated. The first wall of blocks is like in the Knockballs game. Second one is in Fireball. Yeah, your idea is better. It's not that your idea was bad. It's just I was having a hard time getting a visualization for it. What the terminology for that is the elevator pitch. So the elevator pitch is if you're in the elevator with a stranger and you're talking to a complete stranger about your idea, you need to be able to sell them on it in 10 seconds. So you want to have a 10-second explanation that gives them the proper visualization of what's going on. Now we're making more complicated, not casual. Yeah, no, I agree. It becomes much more complicated. It becomes like a PC game. That's something that I'd put on the PC and strap a controller to. So it's definitely not, yeah. Both sides, though, like both of our ideas were pretty complicated. But, yeah, so anyway. Lucky Ducky, make a game where the player is stationary and you shoot enemies on a moving platform like a train. It was also a fun Nintendo game with their light gun. Oh. Give me more details, Lucky Ducky. So, player stationary, shoot enemies on a moving platform. So the platformer is moving by, you're not moving, and then you're trying to shoot them. Like I assume, like the train's going by, and the enemies are like on the train, or maybe they're in the window. Maybe it's like a Wild West type thing, and you got a 6-shooter, so you got 6 shots or something. It doesn't have to be a cannon. It's just the concept of the stationary shooting concept. Any other ideas? We're going to generate one more, and then we're going to take a look at our idea bank and pick. So let me put, no, I'm not going to put down that one that I knew. All right, I'm waiting for Lucky here to give us more details on his idea. And we'll write it down. Oh, okay, that was it. All right, cool. All right, let me write that down. Idea number 6. Okay. That is a stationary shooting player. Moving platform, example, train. Objects appear or spawn on the platform, and as they go by you, try to hit them. Try to hit them to collect points or other components to maybe power up or change the shooting style in some way. That way it doesn't become, you know, repetitive. Alright. Alright, cool. I think we're good on that one. We're going to do one more generation. Alright, random number generator. One more time. What do we got? Let me give me a new number. So, no, it's fine. We'll do 2. Or actually, let's see. Let's see a number that we haven't used. I can just look right at it. So we haven't used Go Fish yet. And we haven't used... Alright, so let's see. What's 7? Alright, so 7 is Go Fish. Let me get a number that we haven't seen. And 10. Alright, so you guys are gonna hate me for this one. Alright, so we got Go Fish. Tap the screen to drop the hook and dive into the depths to collect fish. The farther you can go down, the better the reward. Upgrade your gear to move further in the game. And then number 10 is Flappy Bird. So Flappy Bird is you're tapping the screen to stay afloat. So what if... let's see. All right, Justin, have a good one. So for this last idea, let's do... you're a cannon that can shoot and turn. Some enemies are slowly moving towards you. Each time you shoot them, you get hollow lock. All right, I'll add that to the idea bank. That was clear. Number 7. Whoop, whoop. All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so the new one is the fishing. Shoot Flappy Bird at the... All right, so what about... if you are, what if you're in a boat, right? And you're on the sea, you're on the, let me turn off this thing here, sorry. So if, let me grab it. Go fish. Right? So here's Go Fish. And we got Flappy Bird. All right. All right, so what if you're in the boat and you're on the ocean like he is here, right? And what if you're tapping to row the boat? What if you're tapping to row the boat just enough time to stop at a school of fish? And if you stop completely, if you come to a complete stop after tapping and you reach a school of fish, you'll automatically drop a hook that'll go onto the school of fish and give you a random, like a random fish based on the type of fish that are in that school. And then it'll come up real quick and you'll collect the points and you'll keep tapping. And your offensive maneuver is like there's sharks or maybe like swordfish or something wild flip-flopping around in the ocean, and you have to tap and move fast enough past them, or like you have to buy yourself enough time. Maybe you can use objects to buy time. Maybe they're coming at you from the side, or sorry, in this case would be this side. So maybe they're coming at you like the sharks and stuff are swimming in the ocean behind you, and you're trying to tap to get them farther back, but you also want to stop to collect fish for your family. But if you stop, they're catching up, and now you got to tap some more to keep going. If that makes any sense. What we got? All right, so 373 says you're the bait in the hook and need to survive the depths, but your movement is much like a Flappy Bird. Oh, wow. So yeah, so you're like the worm on the hook, and it goes down into the water, and now you're flapping around on the hook, trying to avoid getting eaten by the fish, and you're like in this general area. I actually really like that. That would be kind of funny. Not gonna lie, you could do all kinds of different kinds of bait, and they would have different movements. So like a small fish that's hooked on it is like flopping around and like, you know, going up different directions and stuff. Or maybe it's kind of randomized, and you're just flopping around, trying to prevent getting eaten by other fish for as long as you can. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. Let me write that down. Number 8. Idea number 8. All right, you are the bait. Whoops, I'm in caps. You are the bait on the hook. The hook is dropped down into the depths. The more successful you are at... that's thinking too far ahead. So tap the screen to move the bait around to avoid being eaten. Difficulty increases by weights being added to the hook to go further down, finding more aggressive fish to fend yourself off from. That would actually be pretty neat. All right, let's see. All right, can y'all still hear me? I have to let people know in the living room that I'm streaming. Let's see. All right, fishermen will be up above laughing at your misfortune. Yeah, let me add that one in there. All right. Fishermen laughing at your misfortune. All right, so I think that's enough ideas for the idea bank here. We got 8 ideas to look at. Now we got to actually make the deciding decision. So let's take a look at what we got here. Let's get rid of all these. We don't need this information anymore. Idea 2, idea 3, idea 4, idea 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, cool. All right, so for everybody who's in here, basically, I'm just going to read off the ideas, and then you put your vote down with the number, which idea number you like most, and the one with the most votes out of us will be the game that we decide to start fleshing out. So, idea number 1, it's Endless Runner with enemy AI running away from you. You're collecting ammunition or other power-ups to destroy the running enemy. Idea number 2 was the spinning disc concept that's shooting objects from its center. Collect things from within the spinning disc to maintain your presence and ability to move forward. Number 3 is the Endless Runner, chasing down ammo and firepower. When complete, you're sent to a boss. The boss needs to be taken down with the weapons you found, and only certain weapons may trigger damaging the boss in some areas. Tooltips about the boss and so on, and which weapons you need will be provided. Idea number 4. Player is stealth-based, trying to move through an area, and has one special ability, which is to shoot a grappling hook and pull items around the room, or it can be used to set up traps like tripwire. The goal is to escape without being seen. That is our survival horror hybrid. Idea number 5 is a cannon. Tap the cannon to shoot at a Jenga-style tower to knock out individual bricks to get as low as you can without the tower falling down. Target area is moving. Shoot through target area to hit the building. This way people can't game the system by just knocking off the top blocks only and a timer. Idea number 6 was the stationary shooting player moving platform. Example is a train. Objects appear or spawn on the platform as they go by you. Try to hit them to collect points or other components to power up or change the shooting style. Idea number 7 is you're a cannon that can shoot and turn. Some enemies are slowly moving towards you. Each time you shoot them, you get knocked slightly back and you replenish your ammo by hitting said enemies. The final idea is you are the bait on the hook. The hook is dropped down into the depths. Tap the screen to move the bait around to avoid being eaten. Difficulty increases by weights being added to the hook to go further down, finding more aggressive fish to fend yourself off from. And of course, the fisherman is laughing at your misfortunes. And I'm going to give you guys a second to let that catch up. Put your vote for which idea you want to see made, just which number. And what we could do, if you guys really, because technically there's only about 10 minutes left for the goal of the stream. So what we could do is I could take all these ideas and I could put them into an actual poll on the website. And I'll go through and kind of flesh out a little bit more of the idea to get the visualization for people. Make it a little bit more pretty, and I'll give them the 2 games that we combined as well. I'll make like a whole big thing about it, and the entire community can vote. Would that be, you think that would be cool? I think that'd be pretty interesting. That way the whole community gets a say on what game we make officially for this project stream. I'll wait to hear what your thoughts are. No, we don't need a Google form. We'll use a... you can just literally type it in here for your vote, or if you think it'd be better for us to get the entire community involved. I personally think that would be the best route. Is get the whole community involved and let them check it out. Send it to the polls. Yeah, I agree, Lucky Ducky. Yeah, cool. So this was this is a pretty good stream. I know it was probably boring for some of you, but for those of you who have been keeping up and like participating, you were probably entertained by it. I hope it was a way for you guys to kind of see how I get my ideas for the games that I have. I'll have to show you guys some of my ideas later on. But you guys can take that method with you. Go and try it for your own projects that are coming up. But yeah, definitely let's make this the stopping point and get the community involved. And I'll go put those on the website, and I'll put the images of like the game comparison, like where the ideas came from, and kind of walk them through how we came about these 8 ideas. Now I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for that. I think that'll be really cool. And I think John will like it too. But do you guys have any questions before we call it good? I appreciate you guys going through all this. I'm actually really surprised so many of you were like really into the idea of actually like coming up with the ideas from scratch. That's actually really cool that you guys sat through with me with that. I was surprised. It was the idea, and I'm glad that it worked out. So the next step, I'm gonna go get the community's idea, and I'm gonna let them vote up until, let's say, Monday or Tuesday. I'll say up until Tuesday. Tuesday at midnight is when I'll end the voting, and then we'll announce it during our live stream for Tuesday, because we have a Tuesday and Thursday live stream. For Tuesdays, it's usually going to be a game that I'm playing. That's an indie game, and we'll try to we try to reach out to the developers to have them come and join us as well. So we'll do that. And on next Thursday, by then, I'll have kind of a game dev document fleshed out for the game and present it to you guys, and the community can help make edits on the game, add different features, because I really want you guys to voice your vision for the chosen game, just to make sure that like what you want to see made in that game gets made, as long as it follows the theme of the game. If it's something that we can't implement, we'll talk about why we can't implement it, and we're gonna really start digging into like the rewarding player experience aspect and kind of really get it fleshed out to make a lot of sense for when we build it. I'll try not to build too much in advance. We're really going to build stuff from scratch, but what I am going to do prior is try to find the functions and make the functions in advance, so when we come to the live stream, I can show y'all from scratch that way, because I need to brush up. I really don't want us to spend 10-15 minutes on me personally trying to remember how to do stuff. So I'm going to use this time frame to not only get the community's feedback, but to ensure that I can be capable of the project that gets chosen. So with that, if there's no other questions, we're going to call it a night. I'm going to give it a couple of seconds here for it to catch up, so make sure nobody has any more questions. And then we're going to call it, and we will see the vote available probably tonight. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to go set it up. And then Tuesday, we're going to have a game. We're going to have an idea. That's pretty cool. We all came up with this huge list. It's going to be exciting. Pew pew. Go fish. All right, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. If you guys have any questions that I didn't see, go ahead and just ping me in the Discord, because I'm going to be up for the rest of the night getting this ready for everybody. Again, thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks, Eddie. Glad you liked it. Y'all have a good night.